Most are not even aware or interested in crypto. Yeah, that's true. Like a lot of
That's a
people
good
don't
point.
have a reason to care. And, we laugh about way back in the day. We watched that clip from the Daily Show or whatever, where she's like, is the app the internet? And what is the email? And how does the email talk to my computer? But the truth is, we all start there. We all
Yeah.
start with like, what's a node? What's a blockchain? Who gets these? Why am I paying these fees? Who are they going to? Right?
Yeah, I was talking with Famous and Hexastani Dylan the other day on my first live stream. And at one point I asked him, I can't remember what the question was specifically, but it was like, kind of what do you think the space is going to look like going forward? And he said something very similar. He was all like, man, back in the early days of the internet, nobody expected, that to really go anywhere. But of course, everything that happened, especially with them, putting off some of the laws that they were trying to implement to tax the internet and whatnot, really led the way for companies like Amazon to succeed and thrive later on. And, he was like, I kind of vision where we were in the internet in the early 2000s as where we are in cryptocurrencies right now. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. It's about the same. Yeah, you're right, bro, for sure.
Yeah, I
So,
remember hearing a story about the first email that was sent. It was like it took a team of nerds in New York and a team of nerds in California trying to send one email over what
yeah.
was, the internet back then. And they like had it took like a week for them to get the packets and stuff moved.
Oh, no.
And now your grandma that knows nothing about packets and networks will type something weird like I heard Bitcoin went bankrupt, are you okay? And then they'll swipe their thumb and send an email.
Yep.
And so there's so much room for improvement on the user experience and our apps we have right now. But then again, like there's not a lot of very rich, powerful people that are interested in making this easy for people to use, right?
No, they
Because it
don't. They don't
really
want it.
does take away a lot of systemic and century-old power and authority that people are used to following, right?
Yeah, like when we were in the back room before everything started, before the show started and whatnot, we were talking about, how I believe you said you were brought into crypto because of the thought of financial freedoms and like being your own bank and all these things. I'm sure most of us in crypto were brought into cryptocurrency and started off with Bitcoin in that manner. And it's very unfortunate that we really have to make better cryptocurrencies now, like Hex and everything, because Bitcoin failed. And why did it fail? Well, it was because the banks of this world saw what Bitcoin was capable of and said, "No, no, no. What do you mean Bitcoin could be capable of facilitating more transactions in a day than Visa or Mastercard?" And they got together with their homeboys and created Blockstream to dumb down BTC, and then now we got this dumbed down version of BTC. We originally we wouldn't have needed Ethereum. Vitalik crying over his World of Warcraft characters and yada yada yada, and creating Ethereum because we needed smart contracts. Bitcoin and originally was capable of smart contract functionalities. There were some opcodes and some things taken out, but it was all capable. Everything's been dumbed down. Everything's been dumbed down, and of course, we could get into like the big block versus small block debate and this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But how many other cryptocurrencies out there have been punished because the like we'll just call them the 1% decided that we shouldn't have access to this technology? Why do you think they hate Richard Hart so much and they want Richard Hart to go away? That's
Yeah,
just like the same thing.
yeah. Imagine that you owned the monopoly on, like, say, seashells, right, in the world, and everyone in the world had this superstition that if you didn't gather a certain amount of seashells and take them to a certain location each year, then your kids would, not pass the next grade at school.
Right.
Like, you would never want people to realize that seashells have nothing to do with school or your kids. You would want to perpetrate that lie and that belief forever
Yeah.
because it's just free money. It's free power.
No, most people coming into crypto can't be bothered to learn the difference between centralized finance and decentralized finance, let alone go into the history of why everything is the way that it is these days. And that's something that I'm super interested in. And personally, it's just like the history of how we got to where we are now. And if anybody's watching, I definitely tell you to check out, what the New York trade agreement was and the Hong Kong agreement.
Oof,
Those are some big
some bad
ones to check
stuff.
out right there,
Some
and
bad stuff.
kind of go down the rabbit hole, because then you start realizing that Blockstream has done all these really crappy things that have forever hindered not just BTC's growth, but like growth in the future, right? Of the
Mhm,
space in general.
mhm.
So, I mean, a lot of the big blockers and small blockers yelling at each other back and forth will sit there, especially the big blockers. They'll be like, well, how, it's not all that bad. The miners agreed to SegWit, right? And I'm like, yeah, well, in the beginning, it was like 73% of miners did not want SegWit and did not agree to SegWit. It wasn't until the Hong Kong agreement and the New York trade agreement that all that crap got pushed through, because there was a promise of a change from a 1 megabyte block size limit on BTC to a 2.5 megabyte block size limit. And so they were coerced into just getting all the miners to agree to push SegWit through. And then as soon as it was pushed through, all of a sudden they were all like, you know what? Actually, the code is too fragile. We can't do this. So we're not going to do it. And then of course we had the split and BCH and all this other crap we don't need to get into. But yeah, all those people are still in power, and crypto at large is a very incestuous place where everybody else rubs everybody's back. I mean, CZ tied into the SBF, and then of course you've got everybody else. I mean, shoot, did you know that the CEO of Kraken, God, what was his name? Jesse Powell was involved in Mount Gox and started creating Kraken a month before Mount Gox went down. You can't tell me he didn't know shit was about to go down. And all those guys are rubbing each other's backs, and all those guys are the same guys telling everybody else Richard Hart is a fraud, a fake, a fraudster. Don't listen to him. Well, why don't they want you to listen to him? Because they don't want you to get free. They don't want you to be, they don't want you to have money. They want you to stay in your lane and stay broke and stay poor and continue taking your money from you, right? Like that's what they want.
Preach, 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 Sister Brittany.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a long tangent there, but
No, but it's true. I mean, a lot of people that are in crypto right now uh, joined during the 2017 wave. That's where they got their first taste of like, oh crap, this is crazy,
right.
right? But if you go back, like you said, to what was happening right around there, and you had people like Conrad Zen was part of the Bitcoin uh, alliance or foundation, whatever they call their group, and Richard Hart was obviously very, very invested and trying to get that working as best as possible. So he was actually there when those agreements were going down and
Yeah.
saw the rug pull of the agreements and what they said was going to happen. And a block size increase is on Satoshi's roadmap.
Mm.
The 21 million isn't on Satoshi's roadmap.
Yeah.
Right? And how many people that know about Bitcoin and know about the 21 million limit, how many of them understand that we're not going to hit close to that or get the last meaningful amount mined
Like
till
100 years.
2140?
Yeah.
So 2140, a lot of people believe that Bitcoin has already been mined, like that the 21 million exist. They don't even understand that this is like a promise that you're going to wait till your grandkids
Yeah.
or your great grandkids they're going to find out whether or not that holds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole vision of Satoshi was always that BTC would scale, right? And like it was supposed, I believe it was Hal Finney that suggested to Satoshi that the 1 megabyte block size limit be implemented because in the early days of the network, so to speak, it was really prone to DDoS attacks and whatnot because there weren't enough miners on the system at that time to secure SHA-256, right? So it was like put a 1 megabyte block size limit in there. It'll help secure it until such time that more miners are on the network, and as more and more miners come on the network, it'll become more and more secure. And so the plan was that later on, the 1 megabyte block limit would be increased in accordance with how many miners are on the network. And so it was supposed to go up and up and up and up. But that's, of course, not what we saw happen. So.
Yeah, it goes so far back, but honestly, the government and the banks, they never had to actually cripple Bitcoin itself. They just had to cripple the community. They just had to pull things like Mt. Gox or the Bitcoin Cash debate. All they have to do is get people to fight a little bit, and nothing gets done, and it just sets us back.
Yeah, they don't really need to make, like, everybody's really worried about like new laws and regulations and everything. It's like, yeah, they might make some small things or whatever, but like they're not going to go after making a crap ton new laws and stuff right now. They might say they will, but I'd be really shocked if they came out and did some like huge overhaul on the space right now. Most of the laws and regulations that are already in place cover anything malicious that may be happening within our space right now. So why would they need to go and make new laws and regulations? I mean, I know the SBF and the whole collapse and whatnot, not just with that, but like with BlockFi and everything, like those are bad things. But I gotta wonder, like, what are they trying to keep us from figuring out or finding right now, man? I feel like it's all like a huge distraction. Like I said earlier in the video, I feel like it's set the space back a little bit. Anybody that was interested in coming into crypto, they're not interested in coming in anymore. Meanwhile, I know it's not easy to get people to come on the shows and hit like and subscribe and everything else right now because of the bear market, but this is the time historically, all the cool shit that happens right now. It's getting made in the bear markets. So like right now is the time to be in here figuring all this stuff out, learning about hex, learning about everything, and educating yourself now when nobody else is looking or paying attention.
Yeah, well, and we have so many people building projects and protocols right now for Pulse chain and for fiat on ramps. It's like we look crazy because we're in this like calm ocean on our surfboard, and we're paddling like crazy, but the other people don't see the wave. We don't even see it. We just know it's coming. So we're paddling like crazy, and everyone else is like, what are you doing? Like they've taken their boards, they've gone home, and we're just paddling like mad until our arms are ready to fall off because we know what's coming, and it makes us look crazy to everyone else. I should say crazier.
You're a cult.
To everyone else.
We're a cult, right? We're a cult. Yes. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. Don't listen to us. Like it's funny to me, man. It's just funny to me at this point. Like all the people that are actually frauds and fakes are the ones getting listened to. Meanwhile, people like you and everybody else here in the Hex community telling everybody this is how you become financially free, and you're labeled a cult member, and Richard Hart is the Messiah. So
yeah,
I've really enjoyed the stream and the chat so far today, man. But I actually got to get ready to go here soon.
We just hit that. All right. Well, let me go over really quick. We've got my scavenger hunt where we're going to be revealing more words. We have about 5 words revealed right now. And Brittany has been gracious enough to join us. And your goal, I believe, was 2,500 subs. Is that correct?
Yep.
So we want, once she hits 2,500 subs, we'll have her come back on here, or maybe I'll probably also be jumping on your channel and hanging out because I definitely want to talk more. But once we hit that,
the conversation.
Yeah, go to her channel, subscribe, and check out. She's got some great interviews that you guys will love, and we will definitely be chatting some more in the future. Thank you so much for coming. No Shave Tail Pulse Chain. We're just going to keep this raccoon-looking thing going for the next 3 to 6 months. I think that's my guess. 3 to 6 months, but I'm wrong on all my timelines.
# 2 weeks.
Yeah, # 2 weeks. Great stream. Everyone loves you being here. Thank you so much. I'm gonna quickly throw on some music because we are gonna do the awkward wave goodbye. Have you seen this? Okay, so we're gonna throw a little bit of music, and I just stare into the camera and give it the most awkward wave that you can muster. All right? Here we go. Thank you so much. That's a wrap. We love you guys.